Well, hey everybody! As you know, last week I asked you guys to send in your favorite One Piece openings, and whichever ones got the most upvotes, the most requests, I would sing in typical Tekking101 fashion for this week's intro segment. And the winner was pretty much just not unanimous, but it blew it out of the water. Like, it was like resoundingly the 4Kids One Piece opening, the rap, you know, like, his name's Zolo, we just like the samurai. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed. I've listened to that rap so many times when I was a kid and when I was an adult doing that 4Kids reaction series I have on my side channel. I've sung it before to just make fun of it. And I even did like a music video style cover of it a few years back, like in 2012. You can go check out that video here where I do that. So I feel like this is kind of like lackluster for me. I mean, if you haven't seen it before, okay, awesome, but, you know, I've just sung it so many times, it's not even, like, cringy to me at this point. So I might do another one. I was thinking maybe Bon Voyage, I don't know. I'll put a rain check on that for later, but, you guys wanted me to sing the 4Kids One Piece rap, so I guess we'll sing the 4Kids One Piece rap. I mean, I'm loyal to my fans. If you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. And yes, I have it on my phone. Why wouldn't I have the 4Kids One Piece rap on my phone? Did you guys seriously, are anybody seriously sitting there right now surprised that I have it, like, just ready to go to listen while I'm jogging or whatever? Everyone already should have expected that. By the way, if you don't want to listen to this and if you just want to skip right to the review, I mean, YouTube doesn't have annotations anymore, which really kind of sucks, but here's a time code, so you can manually look at this time code and then manually go down to the progress bar and manually set it to the correct time. So yeah, you go check that out if you want to skip it, but for those of you that are still watching, I guess there's only one thing really left to say, and that's yo! Ya yo! Ya yo! Dreamin'! Don't give it up, Luffy! Dreamin'! Don't give it up, Zolo! Dreamin'! Don't give it up, nah man! Dreamin'! Don't give it up, give it up, give it up! Yow! Here's the story goes, we find out by a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king. Ya-yo, 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 ho-ho. His name is Luffy, that's Monkey D. Luffy, king of the pirates. Made of rubber, how did that happen? Yo-ho-ho, we took a bite of gum-gum. Yo-ya-yo. His name's Zolo, he's just like a samurai and an LAD, why Nami's not shy. The pirate crew coming through doing their thing, I'm the king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king. Ho ho, set sail for One Piece. It's the name of the treasure in the Grand Line. Hello, set sail for One Piece. Alright, so no, I'm not replaying that. Okay, well, there you go, there's the One Piece rap. Once again, I've sung that so many times, it doesn't even seem cringy to me at this point. Alright. Well, I'm not even gonna bother cutting to the intro after you just sat through that, so let's just reset, let's just dive right into the chapter. Well, thanks everybody for skipping that intro. You didn't miss anything, trust me, you didn't. You don't have to rewind at this point. Anyway, hey everybody, Tekking101 here, and welcome to One Piece Chapter 899! Almost there, 900 chapters, woo! I'd be a little bit more excited if it was 1,000. You know, what was that? How many years does that usually take? You know, maybe about 2 years, maybe a little bit more than that to get to 100 chapters. So, you know, hopefully I'll still be here at the 1,000 chapter mark. I'm sure it'll be a big event. The only other manga that I know that hit 1,000, like, there's plenty of manga that have hit 1,000, but the only one that I, like, remember, like, being a big event that I kind of, sort of followed was Hajime no Ippo. I remember when Ippo hit 1,000, like there was a huge fan art contest and a bunch of stuff all over Shonen Jump, so that was pretty cool. But let's take a look at the cover page this week. We have a new giant for the New Giant Warrior Pirates. This is the chef, Goldberg, and he was actually mentioned at the same time that Rold was mentioned in the last chapter, or in the flashback of Big Mom, so he would be the same age as Rold, so he'd be like 63 years old. He's the chef, you know, giant, kind of short, you know, chubby belly, he's got the Viking horn things, even though the Vikings never actually wore those. I mean, think about how impractical giant horns on your helmet would be in a combat situation. All the enemy would have to do is just grab a hold of them, you've given them a convenient grip, and then they would, you know, pull down your head and then easily lop off your head or slice you or deliver a mortal wound there. So no, they were not worn. What's more, you know, even interesting than his helmet, though, is the shield that has a creepy face on it with its tongue sticking out. Now, given that we're, currently in Totland and we've seen pretty much every inanimate object move at this point, the first thing you're going to jump to is, oh, that must be a homie. But you realize that really doesn't make any sense. I mean, the giants are, enemies of Big Mom in Totland. Like, they would never go there. The only thing that you can kind of think of is that Mother Caramel had the ability of the Soul no Mi before Big Mom did. And so while she was on, Elbaf, she created a few homies like Pandora, that fire one, to help her out. So I guess it might be possible that a homie could have been created way, way back in the day and would still live on. That's kind of problematic, though, when you consider that Mother Caramel is most assuredly dead, and if she's dead, then whatever she created with her devil fruit in particularly would disappear as well. Like, we don't see Pandora around anymore. It's not like after Big Mom swallowed Mother Caramel, Pandora began to follow her around. Pandora and Prometheus are two completely different homies, that's just both made out of fire. So I don't think that makes sense. I don't think it's a homie. It might just be a shield design. I mean, it might be just a way to psych out the opponent, like, oh, the last thing you see before I slam this shield into you and crush your skull is a smirking face that's sticking its tongue out at you. Doesn't really seem like something the Vikings would do, and the giants are obviously based off the Vikings. I don't know. Maybe it's a devil fruit? So is it a person that ate a shield fruit, or is it the shield that ate some version of a human fruit? I think I'm thinking too much into this. I'll just do a whole discussion video about Goldberg's shield. How about that? All right. We're wasting too much time, and there's a lot to unpack in this chapter. So this is really, for more or less, a roundup chapter, it seems. It really seems like, we're just cutting to all the different scenes in this chapter, what's going on with the Straw Hats, what's going on with Bege, Big Mom, Mont-d'Or, Smoothie, Perospero, and just kind of tying everything together. And if the, next chapter is, of course, going to be a big one, chapter 900, cover page, color and all that stuff. I'm not going to say the arc is going to straight up, like, we're going to solve everything by next chapter, but next chapter could very well be the big moment where the Straw Hats escape Totland and all the Big Mom pirates are like, and then there might be like a post-arc just to kind of wrap everything up. Maybe we cut to different areas of Totland. We still need to see what's going on with Pudding, what happened with her, did she erase herself from Sanji's memories and all that jazz. So, yeah, not gonna wrap up the main, like, everything involving Totland in the next chapter or so, but probably gonna, end out the Straw Hats, grand escape by next chapter. I think that would be an appropriate thing to do it. So, Mont-d'Or is shouting into a Den Mushi, get me Perospero, where's he at? So we cut over to their fleet, and remember Perospero's fleet was heading toward Big Mom's side to figure out what was going on there. Bege was luring Big Mom over to Puff's Island, where they were going to set down the keg and then get the hell out of there. So it seems that Perospero is suffering from his injuries a little bit. It turns out getting your arm ripped off tends to wane on your stamina a bit. I mean, the dude's pushing 50, and all he really did to apply first aid to it was cover it in candy. Just like, I got my arm blown off? Alright, I'll just replace it with candy. I'm good to go. I mean, that would be like if I ever got my arm ripped off, I would just grab a prosthesis and just shove it on my stump, not applying first aid, not stopping the bleeding, not doing anything. Just, I cut my arm off? Alright, I got a prosthetic on. Alright, we're good, right? No, he's probably been, there might be an infection, there might be some gangrene setting in. I mean, like, imagine covering your open wound with candy. With melted candy goo, like from a lollipop and stuff, and you're out there on the ship and dirt's getting stuck to it and everything, like, oh god, that is an infection waiting to happen, good sir. So a doctor is looking at the arm and finally bandaging it up, something they should have done like 10 hours ago, and he's kind of woozy, but he's talking about, like, okay, well, the way I see it, we got three possibilities looking at us right here, dead in the eye. Okay, possibility number one, the cake is poisoned and it kills Big Mom when she eats it, and if that's the case, game over, man, game over. Big Mom pirates are over. We had a good run. Can you imagine if that was actually the case, though? We all know the cake's not poisoned, but can you believe if that was that easy? you know, Yonko's taken out. All right, well, that's that. I don't think the fans would really appreciate that all too much, so that's not an option, of course. The second option is the poison doesn't kill Big Mom, but the cake tastes so bad that it doesn't satiate her hunger pang, and then she continues to just level the island anyway. You know, it's just like, oh, this cake tastes like shit, roar! And then she continues to rage, and the entire island and the entire country is destroyed at that point anyway. It doesn't matter. Third option is kind of like their last bastion of hope, and that's if the cake is poisoned. And oh, by the way, in all these possibilities Perospero can come up with, they're all poisoned cakes. Like, he cannot comprehend, like, why they wouldn't poison it. Like, it makes sense from his perspective. These are the enemy. Why they, oh wait, so they would just make a cake just because they care a lot about the art of baking? Well, clearly Perospero doesn't know Sanji, because that's exactly the case. But in all these scenarios, they're poisoned. The last scenario number 3, is the cake is poisoned, but it still tastes so delicious that it calms Big Mom down and everything's copacetic. And that's the best option they have. And Perospero likens this option 3 to nothing short of a miracle. Like, odds are it's going to be 1 or 2. She's either going to die or she's going to continue her rampage because the cake doesn't taste good enough, and that's it. You know, we're done at that point. So the chance that number 3 is going to happen is, you know, freaking blue moon on Friday the 13th as all the planets align in one section. Like, very unlikely that's going to occur. Now we cut over to Mont-d'Or's side, and he's hearing about this, and he's freaking out. And by the way, what have you been doing this entire time, Mont-d'Or? Because every time we cut back to you, yeah, you got a little home base with all the Den mushies. I guess you're relaying the information to everybody, but, you know, you're basically just sitting on your book couch, just chilling out. Get your ass out there and do something. Damn, you have that ability to trap people into books. That's kind of useful. You could hop on your books across the sea. You know, you could be doing stuff. Freaking lazy bastard. He mentions that Stussy and Morgans are now gone, though, and they're like, well, what happened to them? It's like, oh, yeah, they left a while ago. They left while you were shouting like a madman. Like, oh, shit, get them back here. Kill them if you have to, especially that journalist. I mean, like, oh my god, I mean, Mont-d'Or really is dropping so many kinds of balls now. Not only is he not getting out into the main, you know, front, I guess you could say, oh, he's communications officer, he's relaying all the strategies. Like, is that really a necessary, like, in this situation? Like, Smoothie and Daifuku, they're the ones out there actually going after the Straw Hats, you know. They could just be communicating back and forth with Oven and Cacao there. Like, what do you really need Mont-d'Or for? But in the middle of all this, he can't even pay attention to freaking Morgans, who is a huge threat, because if he gets away, that's going to be front page news. Front page news, big news, big news, Big Mom Pirates screwed the pooch. You know, you're done at that point. So you think you should have been like, yeah, we should maybe like chain him up by force at this point. But no, you just turn your head for 5 seconds, you turn back and he's gone. Oh, I wonder how he could have gotten away. Oh, right, he's a giant fucking bird. Oh. But anyway, yeah, he's like, get them back here. So whether or not they're going to get captured or not, who knows? Stussy's a member of CP, just 0, so if Morgans is along with her, then there's probably no way that they're going to catch him. You know, Stussy probably has some secret way of getting out of here. Probably has like a covert 007 style submarine docked at freaking Whole Cake, you know, to get out of the freaking country. I don't know. So we cut to various sections all around Totland at this point. A few islands that we've seen and a few that we haven't yet, or a few that were only mentioned. We cut over to Nuts Island, which is one of the islands that Big Mom ravaged while she was looking for her cake, and we see the entire destroyed place. We see bandages on the Peanuts. We see this really sad Mr. Peanut consoling a child off to the right. Like, this is like Disneyland, but after like a major natural disaster occurs. You know, like, oh, you have Mickey and freaking Goofy and Donald Duck going everywhere, like, it's okay, little boy. And the castle is like crumbling in the background. Like, this was supposed to be a place of fun, filled with nuts. The next island we cut to is Pori Pori Town, which is home of Crunchy Island, and this is actually the island where Daifuku reigns as the Minister of Beans. So, you know, it's crunchy because they're beans, and we see the people there, and they're very much afraid of what's going to happen. Then we cut over to Cutlery Island at Tabletown. How would you like to live in Tabletown? How would you love to live in Totland? An entire archipelago filled with fantastical food-themed islands like Potato Island, all of the chips you could eat. Cacao Island, all the chocolatey delight in the world. Ice Island, all the ice cream that you could stomach. And you get stuck living at freaking in Cutlery Island at Tabletown. Like, oh, great. Great, nothing but freaking wood shops as far as the eye could see. I mean, it's the most practical out of all of them, because I would not want to live on an island made mostly out of chocolate. I don't think anybody would when the freaking locusts show up, you know? But yeah, freaking Table Town. It's obviously the island where all of the cutlery and all the cooking utensils are created. You know, there's probably blacksmiths working at their forge. Like, this is going to be the most epic sport ever! We even see a little spoon guy chilling out there, a little spoon homie all sad, like, this looks like the end of our country there, boys. Slurp 'em while you got 'em. The next island we see is actually kind of a disappointment, because we heard about it earlier and I was expecting something more. This was Ice Island and Sherbet Town. When I think of Ice Island, I was thinking like a frozen winter island that had, like, you know, ice cream mountains or something like that. And we do have a giant thing of sherbet sticking out at the center of it, but we also see palm trees. So try to balance that out. I guess it's a tropical paradise, but you got all the ice cream around there to relax. I don't know really how you balance a tropical paradise and a giant mountain of sherbet, but it's Totland, where all your dreams come true, so I guess that makes sense there, and then they're freaking out as well. Now, we cut over to Puff's Island. Now, something we find out now is that the minister of Puff's Island is actually Chiffon, okay? And this actually kind of makes sense, because Puff's Island is kind of on the outer perimeter of Totland, and we all know Big Mom can't stand to look at Lola, and Lola was the minister of Cacao, which is also on the perimeter, and since Chiffon looks exactly like Lola, it would make sense that Big Mom would make her as a minister of an island that's almost outside of her territory. So they're on Puff's Island. People are running around, including a sexy cat lady. Okay, fine, I'm just gonna go with that. And they're like, oh my god, Minister Chiffon, why would you bring her here? Because they led Big Mom there, they dropped off the cake on the island, and now Prometheus is looming overhead, and they're freaking out like, you killed us all, Minister! And then you see Chiffon get out, and man, that girl is looking rough. Like, she is looking seriously worn out, right? But she's just like, it's because I believe in this cake that was created by Blackfoot Sanji, who even surpasses the head chef Strusen. So I don't know if anyone could really hear her. They're just running for the hills at this point. Meanwhile, you have Bege in the background that's like, get out of here! Our ship's almost destroyed! And we see the Nostra Castello in the distance, and that seems to be sinking. From this angle, it looks like it's suffered heavy damage and it's sinking beneath the waves. And that's not good, because that's their ship, like their main vessel. Like, they're gonna have to figure out some other way to get off the island. Stay tuned for that. I don't know how that's gonna work. In the meantime, Bege just grabs Chiffon, activates Castle Tank, and then, you know, tanks her the hell out of there. But now, we finally get the main event, ladies and gentlemen. We got the cake, Big Mom lands in front of it, and I don't even know what's going through her mind right now after playing this, like, 14 freaking hour game of hot potato, but it's just like, wedding cake, wedding cake. And we don't get to see her in full view what she looks like, but we get a side view of her face, and her nose is looking pretty, you know, you can see the lines, most definitely, okay? You know, Big Mom is probably skeletal at this point, but we just don't get to see that, and we don't even get to see her really eat the thing, we just see her getting close to it. I think Oda's saving that for next chapter, like the big chapter 900 double page spread, Big Mom just, yeah, you didn't know you wanted it, but you're getting it. Damn straight you are getting it. In color, probably, too. So yeah, we have no idea what's going on there, but now we cut back to the Thousand Sunny in a kind of cool front shot of the ship just heading straight for us, so that's neat. He wakes up because he's been conked out for the last few chapters, and, you know, he's being treated, Chopper's looking after him here, and Luffy's reaction to this whole thing is just like, oh, you guys got tired of, I got tired of waiting for you guys, and the funny thing is it's the exact opposite, but at this point they don't even care, because it's like, okay, we're good! Luffy survived, Sanji survived, everyone's good, Jinbei's here, Carrot's alright, let's just, sorry Pedro, but let's just get off the damn island, just get out, we're finally all ready, we're finally all here. So, at this point though, Smoothie's fleet is caught up, and they're about to take them out, but they get intercepted by Judge. I think a lot of people were expecting Judge to show up, since all the other Germa siblings are on Cacao, and we saw their super attacks last chapter. We're gonna see Judgy now, and Judge shows up, and he has like half of his face covered in bandages, so from their standoff earlier on Whole Cake, he probably incurred some damage from that. And I don't believe Judge has any of the genetic enhancements that his children do. I don't think he has the steel skin or anything like that, so yeah, he's pretty much, you know, just a really buff guy with all the tech attached to him and his giant spear thing, but he doesn't actually have any genetic enhancements himself, which makes it kind of hypocritical of what's going to happen next, you know? So, you know, he's like, oh, Germa's backing them up, but Smoothie and Daifuku bring up, it's like, okay, well, don't worry about that, though, because most of their forces are focused on the battleships around Cacao. So, yeah, Judge might be attacking them now with his castle, but it's not like he has their entire fleet behind him right now to intercept Smoothie and Daifuku. You have a lot of their ships still fighting at Cacao, so this still might be possible here. Judge steps out and begins to shout over to Luffy. He's not even addressing Sanji. He shouts over to Luffy and he says, "Why do you care so much about that, Straw Hat Luffy?" And referring to Sanji as that, like as a thing, you know, piece of property. And he's like, you would actually storm into Totland, one of the 4 Emperor's oceans. You would actually storm into that place, a suicidal mission, just to rescue him. Just because he's your crewmate. What the hell are you doing? Sanji is a Germa failure. He's not a soldier. All he can do is cook. He doesn't care at all about his royalty background. So what the hell could you possibly want him for? And it's funny because Luffy's just sitting there thinking like, huh, well, yeah, I see. Well, thanks for your help. Bye. And Judge is like, how about you answer my damn question? So, it's funny, because Luffy thinks that Judge was complimenting Sanji just now. He thinks that everything he was saying, like, Sanji is he fails at being a Germa. He's like, oh, well, good. He's a Straw Hat, so he's not a Germa, so that makes sense. Yeah, well, he sucks at being royalty. He's like, well, he doesn't want to be royalty. Yeah, well, he's not a soldier. He's not, he's a pirate. Well, all he's good for is cooking. He's like, yeah, I know, he makes delicious food. So from Luffy's perspective, also, he's probably pretty exhausted at this point, Luffy. He's just like, oh, well, did he just list off all your positive qualities? And Sanji's like, no, he did not. What's funny, though, about all this is I don't know, maybe Judge is trying to play Luffy to see, like, why would you accept that failure, to get him to see if he'll give him an answer, but it seems like a step back for Judge here. Because at first, Judge thought of Sanji as nothing more than just a failure, he's not genetically enhanced, he can't fight, he doesn't like to be royalty, blah blah blah, but we've seen him, like, first off, Sanji beat the crap out of Yonji. Judge does not consider Yonji a failure, and Sanji beat the crap out of him, so I don't know where this, like, he's not strong, he's not genetically enhanced, he's not a good soldier. He beat the crap out of one of your genetically enhanced kids. I mean, granted, he was probably the weakest out of the remaining 4 you had, but still, like, that's something. You see all the stuff he's capable of at the tea party, you know, fending off all the other Big Mom pirates, and you're still gonna sit there like a freaking jagoff and be like, he's not a soldier, he's not strong, he's not genetically enhanced, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't want to be a prince. Who wouldn't want to be a prince? You're born into royalty, you listen to everything I say as the ruler. It's that simple. Anything else, and you're a freaking idiot. So I don't know if I was holding out for Judge to be redeemed here. I don't think I really was. Maybe a little part of me was. But at this point, Judge, you could just freaking lop your head off with that spear, man, and just drop your freaking corpse into the water. Because I don't really give a shit about you at this point. I mean, I'm glad Luffy didn't even bother to give your fucking question an answer. I'm glad Luffy just brushed you off and just gave you a sick burn. Like, okay, yeah, thanks for helping us. Later, bye. You know, because you're just ranting and raving at this point. No one cares. So, you know, good for Sanji to get the hell out of there. So, yeah, we have their fleets closing in. They're pulling a pincer move with the separate fleets, one of them circling around of Cacao here. So they're in firing range. They're getting shot at. We have Daifuku's genie that arrives. That's now swollen up to several sizes, what it was originally, and it begins to attack. Sanji appears and kicks the giant polearm thing that genie has, so the genie goes to swing and Sanji deflects it. Yeah, Judge is like, oh, he's not genetically enhanced. Yeah, but he still has enough power to kick away a giant freaking halberd with his leg, which, you know, it is not genetically enhanced. Don't you think that counts for something, Judge? I mean, god damn. Anyway, It's kind of interesting that the genie is bigger now, and we cut over to Daifuku and Smoothing, and Daifuku says, oh, you finally entered the range of my abilities. So maybe it's Smoothing using her ability to enlarge certain things with liquid, like a sponge enlarges when it absorbs liquids. She's doing that on the genie, and then the genie is kind of, I always thought, some kind of ethereal being made of smoke, not actually like a living thing, but okay, fine, I guess you can maybe do that. I guess the best explanation, because they verbally mention how big it is, like it's much bigger than last time, so that's probably what's going on here. Smoothie and Daifuku are combining their abilities together here. So the ships are coming at them, and it's looking like they're not going to be able to get away, but at the last second, the ocean begins to rise up in the center, and all the ships get thrown off, and they're like, what's going on here? And it's like, yeah, you have an army? We have an Umibozo. Boom! And then Watetsume just bursts out of the freaking ocean. And along with all the Sun Pirates, Aladdin is there, everyone's there, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna see you off, Captain Jinbei. You know, even though you're gonna leave us, you know, for this one last mission, for this one last time, you know, you're still our captain, right? So that's a really cool moment. I was waiting on when the Sun Pirates were gonna arrive and help out. And obviously, like, Praline helped out with the territorial sea slugs, but I was waiting for them to actually show up and help out in the actual fight. And this was like the best time for them to do that. And I think now that Watetsume's there, I mean, Watetsume, he's not like super strong, like you can defeat him. Jinbei took him out one-on-one, really. I mean, Sanji assisted too, but Jinbei could totally take out Watetsume one-on-one. So, yeah, he's not the strongest, but he's like the size of a goddamn mountain. Like, he's huge. Alright, so if anything, he'll definitely just, all he has to do is just kind of like do this in the water, and that'll screw up their whole fleet and their whole formations, and that'll definitely allow them to get away at some point. And remember, fishmen have the ability to fuck with ocean currents. Oh, they are screwed. Big Mom Pirates are so screwed. Luffy and the gang in the Thousand Sunny, it's definitely escaping now. Like, there's no question. Watetsume runs interference, messes with all the fleets, crushes as many boats as they can, and then all the remaining members of the Sun Pirates just use, like, ocean current attacks to just, you know, like, just, like, express train them right out of the freaking Totland territory. And you're good at that point, you know. Also, they're seeing Jinbei off, and we had a little scene in this chapter where Jinbei's laughing, and he's like, ho ho, man, you guys are so much fun. So Jinbei's joining, 100%. It's not even a question at this point, alright? It's definitely happening, alright? So gear up for, hey, it might be in the next chapter. Chapter 900, big celebratorial event. Celebratorial, is that a word? Whatever, is now. That's when Jinbei is made official Nakama. Maybe we'll get to Carrot later, but Jinbei definitely is going to be happening. Maybe not next chapter, but it's definitely happening 100%. You're not getting out of this. Right, so that's the end of the chapter, really, so that's it. Like I said, next one, 900, it's going to be a grand escape there. We're probably also going to cut over to Big Mom and the cake to see what happened there. I think we're going to cut over to Big Mom, and she's going to, like, be eating it, and she's going to be all emaciated, and her whole body's going to swell up like a giant balloon, and she's going to be, like, ferried off into the Spirited Away universe very briefly before arriving back down in her body, and just being so satiated that, I don't know, she might be so elated that she might not be able to move or do anything because it tastes so damn good. I don't think she'll be like chasing after the Straw Hats immediately. Like, even if she, you know, even if she still views them as enemies, I think just the pure sugary delight of that thing is going to be enough to calm her ass down, her giant ass down, in order to, you know, allow them to get away. You know, I think we had a little bit of development with Jinbei here, so I think that's fair that we're going to get some of that next chapter. As for Bege, I have no idea how they're going to get out of this freaking scenario. The only thing I can think of is that, and this is a long shot, this is a very, very long shot, Big Mom is so delighted by this cake that she views it like this. Bege, you betrayed me. But if you did not betray me, I would not have the opportunity to eat this bomb-ass cake. So, I'm okay with it. Doesn't make a lot of sense in the long run, but Big Mom doesn't really think a lot for the future, you know what I mean? Like, so she might not kill Bege or Chiffon just based off that. Based off the fact that if this never happened, if you never destroyed my wedding and my picture of Mother Caramel, if you never leveled my chateau, and if I never went on this 12-hour hunger rage, I never would have gotten this cake. And this cake was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten in my entire life, period. So, yeah, cool, it's fine. I'll give you a mulligan on this one. Or maybe she'll allow them to leave. And it's like, I'll tell you what, you can't stay in Totland, but I'll let you leave. Or something like that. Maybe that's a long shot, but other than that, the Firetank pirates don't have a damn ship. So, unless Bege can turn into a damn jet ski with a castle on top of it, I think they're screwed. So, anyway, what do you guys think about that? Leave your comments below. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Later, guys.